6 lucky numbers to win big and get rich on June 30th, 2025 Buddhist teachings. What if the universe has been whispering to you all along, but you've just been too busy to hear it? Every day, we pass by numbers without a second thought and receipts, clocks, license plates. But what if some of those numbers aren't random? What if they're spiritual nudges, subtle messages sent to guide us when we feel lost, uncertain, or stuck? In today's video, we're going to explore 6 numbers that don't just promise luck on June 30th, 2025. They offer something deeper: insight, clarity, and a chance to reconnect with your inner wisdom. Guided by Buddhist teachings and modern mindfulness, these numbers are more than superstition. They're reminders of your strength, your growth, and your readiness to transform. If you've been waiting for a sign, this might just be it. Let's begin the journey one mindful step at a time. 1. Number 41. Let me share with you the gentle power of the number 41, a quiet companion that arrives not with fanfare, but with the steady assurance of a friend who guides you back to yourself when life's pace feels overwhelming. Have you ever felt buried under the relentless buzz of notifications, looming deadlines, and the pressure to perform, as though the ground beneath you might give way? That sensation isn't weakness. It's your inner voice softly urging, pause and rebuild. In Buddhist thought, 41 is more than a numeral. It's a vibration of deliberate structure and silent strength, reminding us that genuine progress arises not from frantic motion, but from mindful steps taken each day. As the Buddha wisely observed, peace comes from within, do not seek it without, encouraging us to cultivate stability inwardly before expecting it outwardly. When you find 41 appearing on your screen, in prices, or on street signs, consider it a nudge from the universe to shift focus from external fixes to inner resilience. In our modern world where we juggle video calls, social feeds, and non-stop to-do lists, this message is vital. True success isn't measured by the flash of fireworks, but by the solidity of your roots. Embrace the energy of 41 by carving out moments for mindful breathing, grounding in nature, or simply closing your eyes for a few seconds of stillness. As Thich Nhat Hanh taught, walk as if you are kissing the earth with your feet, so each step you take becomes an act of conscious growth, guiding you toward unshakable confidence and enduring fulfillment. 2. Number 17. Let's take a moment to reflect on a number that doesn't demand attention or dazzle with flash, yet holds the kind of quiet power that can reshape your entire path. 17. This is not a number of loud victories or dramatic changes. It's the number that walks with you during life's most sacred transitions. If you've ever faced deep pain, grief, betrayal, or a loss that made you question everything, then you've already touched the energy of 17. You might not have called it by name, but its presence was there, steady and silent. 17 is the bridge between who you were and who you are becoming. It doesn't promise quick fixes, it offers real transformation, the kind that unfolds slowly, from the inside out. It's the whisper in the dark that tells you healing is happening, even if you can't see it yet. In numerology, 1 and 7 make 8, which is linked to abundance and karma. But 17 isn't here to hand out wealth or fame. It teaches resilience. It asks you to rebuild not your image, but your spirit. It carries the energy of Saturn, the great teacher of discipline and truth. Saturn doesn't grant shortcuts. It tests your commitment, your patience, your integrity. And once you pass these tests, you don't just receive, you transform. You earn strength that nothing can shake. So let me ask you, are you in a moment of quiet rebuilding? Are you letting go of old versions of yourself and stepping softly, steadily into something new? If so, you're already walking the path of 17. As we approach June 30th, 2025, if you keep seeing this number on receipts, clocks, or even in your dreams, don't ignore it. That's a sign. A message that your time is arriving. Put your hand on your heart. Do you feel that? That's life telling you that you are still here, still becoming. And because you're still here, there's more for you. Stay open, because what's coming next is a number said to awaken your deepest potential, but it only appears when your heart is truly ready. The takeaway: the real treasure isn't just in the lucky numbers, it's in knowing that even during quiet, uncertain times, you are growing into your strength. 17 reminds us that being in transition is not being lost. It's just another form of becoming. 3. Number 30. Have you ever felt a quiet whisper in your heart, like something deep inside is asking you to start again? Not just by changing a habit, but by truly resetting your life. Sometimes, clarity doesn't come during the loud, busy moments, but in the stillness when the world softens and your inner voice becomes the loudest sound you hear. That's the quiet strength of the number 30. It doesn't shout or demand attention. Instead, it gently nudges you, asking you to look inward and recognize when a chapter of your life has quietly come to an end. In the wisdom of Buddhist teachings, numbers can carry more than mathematical value. They can hold spiritual messages. The number 3 symbolizes joy, truth, and the courage to express your authentic self. It reflects the freedom found in living with honesty and purpose. As the Buddha once said, 3 things cannot be long hidden: the sun, the moon, and the truth. Then there is zero, not emptiness, but infinite potential. It represents the space where transformation begins, the pause before the leap, the calm before renewal. When 3 and 0 come together, they create a powerful doorway for change, an invitation to breathe deeply and reconnect with who you really are. This June 30th, 2025, that energy becomes even more powerful as it joins with a lunar eclipse, cosmic event that doesn't ask for permission before it brings truths to the surface. This moment might shine a light on areas of your life you've outgrown, a routine that leaves you empty, a fear that's kept you small, or a version of yourself that no longer feels real. So let me ask you, what are you still holding on to that your heart is ready to release? Is it an old story, a silent regret, or a dream you're afraid to chase? Write it down, speak it out, or even share it in the comments. In Buddhism, the path to liberation begins with awareness, and sometimes that awareness starts with naming what we're ready to let go of. Remember, growth doesn't move in straight lines. It curves, pauses, and sometimes circles back. But every time you release what no longer serves you, you make space for something more aligned, more true. This isn't just about lucky numbers or spiritual signs, it's about listening to the wisdom within and taking one honest step forward. If you've made it this far, you're already aligning with the energy of abundance and wisdom. Comment below with "Lucky Path" to show your dedication to unlocking the fortune waiting for you on the 30th of June, 2025. Don't click away just yet. There's still powerful insight rooted in Buddhist teachings that could shift your destiny. Stay with us until the end and discover how these 6 lucky numbers might open the door to unexpected wealth and blessings. 4. Number 11. There's a quiet elegance in the number 11, a presence that doesn't shout but softly calls, like a whisper from the universe nudging you to pay attention. It doesn't flash with drama or boast with grandeur. Instead, it simply shows up, often when we're not looking, on clocks blinking 11:11, on receipts, in recurring dreams, or during odd coincidences that seem too precise to ignore. And when it does, it doesn't just catch your eye, it stirs something deep inside you, a feeling that maybe this isn't random, maybe this is meant for you. In Buddhist thought and spiritual numerology, 11 is far more than digits side by side. It is a signal of awakening, an echo of mindfulness. Just as the Buddha taught, with our thoughts, we make the world. The number 11 mirrors our inner and outer realities finding harmony. It marks the space where clarity begins to seep in, when your heart and your mind finally start having the same conversation. Picture it not as a sign to wish upon, but as a doorway to, in factone to the seen and the other to the felt, both unlocking together, granting you a brief glimpse of deeper truth. Yet, as with all spiritual invitations, 11 doesn't offer comfort as a guarantee. It offers awakening, which can feel both exhilarating and unsettling. This path calls for courage, because sensing truth doesn't always mean living easily with it. You may feel the world differently, speak truths others don't want to hear, or feel called to take steps that logic can't justify. And when that happens, you might find yourself standing alone. But even then, 11 is with you, asking if you can trust the unseen, if you can walk forward guided not by the approval of others, but by the quiet compass of your soul. As the Zen saying goes, the obstacle is the path. And in this context, discomfort is not a warning, it is proof that you are shifting. And right now, in this potent season leading up to June 30th, the universe is alive with signs. Uranus, the awakener of minds, stirs the collective energy, and many are feeling a strange restlessness, a flutter of intuition, an inner voice that has grown louder. These are not random feelings, they are invitations. June is not just another month, it is a turning point, a sacred pause that allows you to reflect, reset, and realign. If you've been searching for your moment, asking the universe to show you when or how, then maybe this is it. Not with fireworks or flashing signs, but in a quiet, almost invisible way, through a number that keeps appearing, nudging you to listen within. Because true change is never loud, it is rooted in presence, in the subtle peace that comes when your life begins to match your purpose. In that moment, 11 becomes more than a number, it becomes a mirror, reflecting not just luck or timing, but the harmony of a soul finally hearing its own rhythm. 5. Number 8. Let's take a moment to talk about a number many people overlook, yet it's all around us. The number 8. You've probably seen it in receipts, phone numbers, license plates, or addresses, but few realize the deeper meaning it carries. Look at its shape. It loops in a perfect, unbroken flow, with no beginning and no end. Turn it sideways, and it becomes the infinity symbol, a quiet reminder that life moves in cycles, not straight lines. In Buddhism, this mirrors the wheel of samsara, the endless loop of birth, death, and rebirth. Just like karma, which moves in unseen ripples, every action we take eventually circles back. The number 8 speaks to that rhythm of the universe, a steady, returning balance that doesn't forget your efforts. It's a number of power, but not the kind that comes through shortcuts. Instead, it teaches that true wealth of spirit or material comes from consistent action, grounded choices, and a heart rooted in clarity. In numerology, 8 is seen as a bridge between the spiritual and physical worlds, asking us to reflect: are we chasing success at the cost of our peace? Can we stay ambitious while still being compassionate? These aren't easy questions, but they're necessary if we want a life that feels whole and meaningful. Especially in 2025, this energy becomes more intense. Add the digits of the Yurtwo +0 +2 +5 and you get 9, the number of completion and transformation. This year carries the vibration of closing old stories and stepping into something wiser. And June brings a unique alignment between Jupiter, the planet of growth, and Saturn, the planet of structure. It's a rare window for deep changement, just hope, but transformation that's earned. So here's your reflection today. What are 3 clear, soulful intentions you're truly ready to commit to? Maybe it's healing a part of yourself, breaking a harmful pattern, or building a healthier view of money. Don't keep it vague, write it down, speak it aloud, and give it your focus. Because when your actions are aligned with truth, the universe listens in ways that may surprise you. That's the wisdom of 8. It's not about fast fortune, but about walking a mindful path with patience and integrity. So ask yourself, what kind of success are you truly ready for? And what will you do today to move in that direction? If this message spoke to something inside you, consider supporting this journey. Your presence helps us continue to share the peace, clarity, and abundance that Buddhist wisdom offers for our modern lives. 6. Number 29. Let's begin with a number many people tend to overlook, yet its presence carries a quiet power that often reveals itself only when life becomes uncertain. That number is 29. Now, don't brush it off like it's just another figure you see on a receipt or a random phone number. The energy of 29 isn't about coincidence, it's about consciousness. This number doesn't simply show up, it appears when your soul is ready for a shift, when you're at a crossroads in your life emotionally, financially, or spiritually. It arrives like a quiet whisper that says, "Pay attention." In the teachings of the Buddha, true transformation doesn't come during the easy times. It arises from the stillness after suffering, in the space left behind when something familiar falls away. As the Buddha once said, "Just as a lotus flower is born in water, grows in water, and rises out of water to stand above it unsoiled, so I, born in the world, raised in the world, having overcome the world, live unsoiled by the world." That's the essence of 29's not about being untouched by hardship, but about rising from it wiser, deeper, and more awake. Let's unpack it together. The number 2 is all about connection. It represents your ability to feel others' pain, to love deeply, and to intuitively sense what words cannot express. It's your heart's ability to care, even when the world feels cold. On the other hand, the number 9 carries the wisdom of endings. It symbolizes spiritual growth, letting go, and embracing change even when it hurts. When combined, 2 and 9 do not promise a straight path or a quick fix. They guide you through inner strength, emotional truth, and soulful resilience. If you've been encountering 29 lately, ask yourself what part of your life is quietly calling for transformation. Where are you being asked to release control and embrace trust? This number often shows up for those who've tasted sorrow early, those who've felt the sting of betrayal, the weight of failure, or the ache of loneliness. But what's powerful about these people is not what they've lost, it's how they choose to rise. Let me share a story about someone I once met. We'll call him Rohan. He was laid off just months after becoming a father, buried in bills and burdened by fear. And yet, 29 kept showing up for him on invoices, receipts, license plates. Out of frustration, he began tracking these moments in a journal, and with time, a pattern emerged. The number wasn't pointing to luck, it was pointing to truth. Rohan realized he'd been avoiding his true path, burying his creativity beneath fear and clinging to a job that drained his spirit. With courage, he started a small handmade art business from his living room. It didn't make him rich overnight, but it gave him something more lasting: purpose and peace. So let me ask you, what could 29 be trying to awaken in your life right now? Is it time to release something that no longer serves you? To begin something even if it terrifies you? Or to forgive someone so you can breathe freely again? You're not here by chance. Your journey to abundance has already begun. If these 6 lucky numbers sparked something in you, comment "Fortune awaits" below. These teachings are more than luck, they're a reflection of your readiness to receive. Keep watching to the end, there's more wisdom waiting to guide you toward wealth and inner peace. Overcoming fear and failure mentality in the journey to prosperity. Have you ever felt frozen by fear or crushed by the weight of failure? You're not alone. For many of us, the path to prosperity feels more like a tightrope than a highway, every step haunted by, "What if I fail?" Or, "What if I'm not good enough?" But what if fear isn't the enemy? What if failure isn't the end? In this journey, we'll explore how ancient Buddhist wisdom can help us shift our mindset, transforming fear into clarity and failure into growth. This isn't about ignoring your struggles. It's about learning to walk through them with peace, purpose, and quiet strength. Let's begin, not with a leap, but with one mindful step. Number 1. Understanding fear and failure. Understanding fear and failure begins with a gentle truth. Fear is not a flaw, nor is it something we must battle with force. It is a natural part of the human condition. In Buddhist thought, fear arises not because we are weak, but because we hold too tightly to what we wish to gain or keep. We fear failure because we cling to the idea of success as the only acceptable outcome. We fear uncertainty because we are attached to control. Yet the Buddha reminds us, do not dwell in the past, do not dream of the future, concentrate the mind on the present moment, pointing us gently back to the now, where clarity can grow. When we see fear for what it truly is, a momentary wave in the ocean of the mind, we begin to loosen its hold on us. Fear often thrives in the shadow of what-ifs, but when we step into mindful awareness, we realize we are not defined by our fears, nor by our setbacks. As Zen master Shunryu Suzuki once said, "In the beginner's mind, there are many possibilities, but in the expert's mind, there are few." This beginner's mind invites us to meet each challenge not as a verdict on our worth, but as a chance to learn and evolve. Modern life is full of metrics, likes, promotions, income brackets, and we've been taught that failing in any of these is to fall behind. But this belief is a trap. Just as a seed must break open to sprout, we too must go through moments of discomfort to grow. Failure, in truth, is simply information. It tells us what didn't work and guides us to what might. We must also remember that the most successful among us have walked through doors of doubt. Thomas Edison, when asked about his countless failed attempts at inventing the light bulb, said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." This shift in perspective from fearing failure to embracing it as part of the journey liberates us. And Buddhism supports this wisdom by teaching that life flows like a river, nothing is fixed, and all things change. The fear of failure, then, becomes just another ripple in the stream. To move forward, let's choose compassion over criticism, especially self-criticism. When we fail, instead of asking, "What's wrong with me?" ask, "What can I learn from this?" As the Dalai Lama said, remember that sometimes not getting what you want is a wonderful stroke of luck. In today's fast-paced, achievement-driven society, this mindset is revolutionary. It allows us to breathe again, to be human, to be learners. As you journey toward prosperity, know that true success is not the absence of failure, but the courage to walk through fear with your heart still open. Hold on to this. Fear is a visitor, not a permanent resident. Greet it with wisdom, let it teach you, and then keep going with peace in your step. Number 2. Redefine failure. When we think about failure, most of us feel a tight knot in our stomachs. Fear creeps in and whispers, "What if I fail?" But let's take a moment and flip that question on its head. Instead of fearing failure, what if we asked ourselves, "What can I learn from this?" Or, "What is this moment teaching me about who I really am?" This simple shift in how we frame failure can change everything. Because the truth is, failure isn't the enemy, it's the teacher. Each setback is like a mirror, showing us what we still need to understand, where we can grow, and how deeply we care about the journey we're on. Have you ever noticed that some of your most powerful lessons came not from your victories, but from the moments you stumbled? Those are the experiences that grow your compassion, strengthen your patience, and build your resilience. They teach you to rise with more awareness and walk with more humility. In Zen teachings, the idea of failure as we commonly understand it doesn't really exist. There is no final judgment, no labeling of success or failure. There is only practice. Take the image of a monk sweeping leaves in the temple courtyard. He sweeps today, and tomorrow the wind scatters the leaves again. But he doesn't see this as failure. He simply returns to sweep once more, with the same focus, the same care. Why? Because life itself is a practice. Life is continuous effort not to arrive somewhere, but to remain present, steady, and engaged. What if you approached your own challenges this way, not as tests to win or lose, but as chances to keep practicing what matters to you? Whether it's building a business, healing from loss, or learning a new skill, it's the showing up again and again that makes the real difference. So, I ask you now, what area in your life feels like it's been marked by failure? Can you look at it again, not with blame or regret, but with curiosity and kindness? Can you see how far you've come, even if you're not where you hope to be yet? Often, we give up too soon because we believe we're supposed to get it right the first time. But life doesn't work like that. Just like the monk with the broom, we are meant to keep sweeping, keep trying, keep learning. Every moment gives us the chance to begin again. And in that constant beginning, there's peace, there's progress, and there's wisdom. The key lesson here is simple but powerful. Redefine what failure means to you. Don't let it stop you, let it shape you, let it guide you. Every so-called failure is just another step on the path to becoming more grounded, more courageous, and more compassionate. Growth isn't linear. The path to prosperity winds through many trials, and it's through those trials that we learn to walk with strength and grace. So next time you fall, don't ask, "Why me?" Ask instead, "What's the gift here?" That's how you transform fear into fuel and failure into freedom. Number 3. Compassion toward yourself. In this part of our journey together, let's take a moment to explore something deeply personal yet often overlooked: compassion toward yourself. You might be on a path to success, striving to reach your goals, building a better life for yourself and those you care about. But here's the truth. No amount of external achievement can give you lasting peace if you're constantly at war with yourself on the inside. Have you ever stopped to notice the way you speak to yourself when things go wrong? That quiet voice inside that whispers, "You're not enough," or "You're never going to make it," or even, "You've already missed your chance." These thoughts might feel like reality, but in truth, they are just old habits of the mind-recycled beliefs we've picked up along the way, from fear, from failure, and from comparison. But here's the powerful part: you don't have to believe everything you think. Buddhism teaches us that all that we are is the result of what we have thought. The mind is everything. What we think, we become. This quote from the Dhammapada reminds us that the world we experience is largely shaped by how we treat ourselves internally. If your mind is a garden, then your thoughts are the seeds. So the question is, what kind of seeds are you planting each day? Are you growing a space filled with judgment and pressure, or one of patience, trust, and self-love? When you're on the journey to prosperity, there will be setbacks. That's inevitable. But failure isn't the end, it's part of the path. And how you respond to those moments will define not just your progress, but your peace. Instead of criticizing yourself when you stumble, what would it feel like to say, "I am learning from this," or "This is part of my growth"? What if, instead of constantly pushing yourself with harshness, you allowed kindness to be your fuel? You might be surprised at how much farther you go when your heart is light, not weighed down by self-judgment. Try saying to yourself, right now, gently, I am doing the best I can, or every step forward counts, no matter how small. These may seem simple, even soft, but don't mistake gentleness for weakness. In Buddhism, compassion is one of the highest strengths, and it begins with how we treat ourselves. The Buddha once said, "You yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection." So why is it often easier to show understanding to others than it is to ourselves? Reflect on this. What if the fear that's holding you back isn't actually fear of failure, but fear of how you'll treat yourself if you fail? That's a powerful shift. When you commit to being kind to yourself, even in your lowest moments, fear starts to lose its grip, and that's when true freedom begins. That's when your journey to prosperity becomes more than just about success. It becomes a path of inner peace, resilience, and steady, unstoppable growth. So, let me ask you, what would your life look like if you treated yourself with the same compassion you offer to your loved ones? What doors might open if you replaced self-doubt with gentle encouragement? How might your story change if you chose to walk with yourself, not against yourself, every step of the way? If this message touched something in your heart, I invite you to leave a comment below. Just write, "I choose kindness for myself." Let this be your gentle reminder, today you are worthy of compassion, starting from within. Number 4. Take mindful action. Success is not born from sudden, dramatic movements, but from the quiet, steady commitment to mindful action. Often, we believe that prosperity comes through massive breakthroughs or lucky moments, yet true and lasting change is crafted in the quiet corners of our daily lives. In the teachings of the Buddha, it is said, "Drop by drop is the water pot filled." Likewise, the wise man, gathering it little by little, fills himself with good. This ancient wisdom beautifully echoes the idea that consistent, mindful effort, even the smallest of steps, leads to great outcomes over time. So instead of getting lost in overwhelming goals or feeling paralyzed by fear and doubt, ask yourself each day, what small thing can I do today to nourish my dream? This simple question becomes a daily compass that gently points us toward progress. It could be one honest conversation, writing one meaningful paragraph, or even pausing for a moment of stillness to reconnect with your purpose. Each act, no matter how small, carries a seed of transformation. This mindset is especially powerful for those between 30 and 65 in age, where many carry the weight of past failures or missed opportunities. But rather than seeing these years as a time of decline or limitation, we can reframe them as a stage of wisdom and deeper purpose. Like the Zen master who sweeps the floor every day not because it's dirty, but because sweeping is part of his practice, our daily actions, however repetitive or simple, become sacred steps on the path to prosperity when done with awareness. A meaningful quote by Confucius also comes to mind: "It does not matter how slowly you go, as long as you do not stop." This truth is timeless. The journey toward our goals isn't about speed or comparison, but about steady presence. In modern life, surrounded by distractions and pressure to succeed quickly, it's easy to feel like we're falling behind. But remember, the seed doesn't bloom the day it is planted. It takes daily nourishment, patience, and care. So, whether you're pursuing a new career, healing from past setbacks, or building a better future for your family, ground yourself in mindful action. Don't wait for the perfect moment or ideal conditions, they rarely come. Instead, move with intention today, however small that movement may be. Fear and failure lose their grip when we commit to the present, when we do what we can now with what we have. The renowned Buddhist teacher, Thich Nhat Hanh, reminds us, "The present moment is filled with joy and happiness. If you are attentive, you will see it." That attentiveness is the heart of mindful action. It's not just about doing, but about being deeply aware of the why behind our actions. And as we connect these mindful moments day by day, they weave together into a life of meaning, progress, and quiet prosperity. Let that be your guide, not the rush to succeed, but the gentle unfolding of your journey, one aware step at a time. Number 5. Let go of the outcome. One of the most freeing lessons you can learn on your journey to success and peace is this: let go of the outcome. This doesn't mean you stop caring about your goals or dreams. It means you release the fear and craving that often controls how you feel about them. You see, in life, we're taught to chase results, the money, the recognition, the applause. But Buddhism gently reminds us of a deeper truth. Attachment to the result is the root of much of our suffering. So instead of gripping tightly to how things must turn out, we're encouraged to shift our attention to the present moment, to the effort, the intention, and the heart we put into what we do. The core of this teaching is simple, yet powerful. Focus on the seeds, not the fruit. When you plant a seed, do you scream at the soil to grow it faster? No, you nurture it, you give it sunlight, you water it, and then you wait with trust and patience. The same applies to our lives. We must learn to plant our intentions with kindness, water them with consistent effort, and then allow the natural process of life to unfold. This shift in mindset takes the pressure off. It allows you to breathe, to act with purpose but without fear, and to enjoy the process rather than being consumed by anxiety over what hasn't happened yet. Letting go of the outcome also protects you from the emotional roller coaster of failure and fear, because if your peace is tied only to a specific result, what happens when things don't go as planned? Do you crumble? Do you give up? Or can you step back and ask yourself, did I show up with sincerity? Did I try my best? Did I act with compassion, integrity, and wisdom? These are the questions that really matter. And the beautiful thing is, when you answer yes to them, no outcome can truly be called a failure. Let this sink in for a moment. What if success is not about the result at all, but about the way you journeyed there? If your actions are grounded in goodness, your mind in calm, and your heart in trust, you've already succeeded, no matter what the final picture looks like. So I ask you, what are you holding on to too tightly? What fear or expectation is weighing you down and stealing your peace? What would happen if you just did your best and let go of trying to control everything? Sometimes, when we release our grip, life surprises us in the most beautiful ways. Suffering often begins when we resist what is, or when we cling too tightly to what we think should be. But peace begins when we learn to do good, give our best, and let the rest unfold in its own time. The lesson here is clear and gentle. Detach from the outcome, but stay deeply connected to your effort. Let your actions come from a place of care, not fear. Trust the process. When you do this, not only do you protect your peace, but you also create the right space for growth, wisdom, and real prosperity to bloom. True success isn't about getting everything you want, it's about finding inner calm even when things don't go your way. Let go, not to lose control, but to gain freedom. And there you have its 6 numbers, not just for luck, but for inner alignment, transformation, and mindful prosperity. Whether you're drawn to the strength of 41, the quiet resilience of 17, or the awakening energy of 11, remember, these numbers are not just signs, they are mirrors, reflecting your readiness to grow. On this journey, it's not just about winning or getting rich, it's about awakening to your own potential, finding peace within, and walking with purpose. As Buddhist teachings remind us, true wealth begins in the heart. If this message touched something inside you, help us share this wisdom by liking the video, sharing it with someone who needs it, and subscribing to the Journey of Wisdom. And don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss our next steps together. Until next time, walk gently, live mindfully, and trust your journey. Peace and blessings.